Today, Precarious plays
Deus Ex, Human Revolution. It doesn't look very comfortable.
It looks like a straight up coffin is what it looks like.
And that doesn't make any sense. I mean, these are supposed to be belts, right?
Yeah, to hold your head.
What, one right over the face?
Your forehead.
It's done. Exactly as you instructed.
And yet you sound disappointed. You think we should have handled this differently?
I think we had a valuable asset in our hands, and we're letting him slip away. He could have been very useful in the coming storm.
A hand does not need to be clenched tightly to maintain its hold on someone. Jensen carries too much baggage right now. His obsession with Reed only serves to distract him.
We could have told him the truth.
He must discover it by himself.
It's one of the really fast
And when he
helicopters.
does,
Yeah.
if you have followed my instructions precisely, we will know how to find him.
Assuming he lives that long.
Great.
You know what I'm talking about? It has two propellers and two collective propellers on the top.
Oh.
Yeah, and they spin opposite one another.
Interesting. You know, I've never really considered helicopters as a speedy thing, you know?
Well, it's because they're not especially fast. I mean,
like they're really mobile.
yeah,
That's their deal.
they're mobile and they can move in 3D space in a way that really, like, not many other technologies can.
Drones, which are just tiny helicopters.
In a sense, I mean, they're very similar.
I need to fix that drone I have.
Okay, now we should be back in the main story.
Okay. This isn't creepy. And where are your seatbelts? Ugh.
Pritchard, any chance you're still there?
Jensen, my God! You've been offline for days. Where the hell are you?
Good question.
I was hoping you'd tell me.
I'm pinging you now. You're in Singapore.
Okay.
Something's wrong, Jensen. I pinged you, and a second later I lost your GPL signal. It's like you disappeared into a black hole.
Gotta be a jammer.
Well, obviously. If you can find the transmitter and take it offline, I'll be able to track you. And keep you on a tighter leash.
Oh,
I've got
shut
more
up,
important things to
Richard.
do than help you keep tabs on me. If Megan and her team are here, there's no time to waste.
What was they talking about?
Cool helicopters being fast.
Right. So I have been thinking about it recently because in Stormworks, I looked up a few different technologies. Like I did a search for like fastest helicopter, right?
Yeah.
I did a search for what's another example? Coast Guard. VTOL.
Mm-hmm.
Another one I looked up was combination jet-powered helicopter.
Oh.
That was another good one. That's probably...
What? Why?
Yeah,
Is
well,
it even a helicopter then?
I wanted to know if anybody has ever tried making a helicopter to ascend, but then it has enough wing to it
Yeah.
that once it's up in the air, then it just uses jet propulsion to move forward.
I mean,
And I think that might be how some military helicopters work, or at least that's what it looks like to me. Wait, I just remembered. I'm not...
Oh yeah, you have like actual energy. You can just run around without having to slow down and plan every single step.
And more importantly... I can
Hey
do
guys.
this again.
Bonk.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It was a little violent, Jensen.
Yeah.
Did you miss your arms?
Jensen was just showing off.
Yeah. He's like, I've been without my arms for too long. Those are interesting patterns.
Yeah, so this is a dungeon-like environment, if I remember correctly, functionally speaking.
Is it another boat?
No, it's a compound, and what's interesting about it is that it is... it's something that I like it whenever I see it in The Legend of Zelda, which is, you know, it's like the sort of dungeon experience, you know?
Yeah.
It's the basis of comparison I have for a lot of adventuring. It's surprising how infrequently there are dungeons where you can see the sky.
Yeah.
Because I know that like dungeon kind of gives people an
enclosed idea.
Yeah, but if you think about it, I'm pretty sure that a donjon is like a tower. Like that's the origin of the word, or it's an associated word at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
And it's talking about like a prison tower. So at the very least, you should be able to look out a window sadly.
Yeah. I don't know. I never thought about that. That's not an association I've...
Yeah, at the very least, you should be able to go. Hold on. Dang it.
It's just the wrong guy.
Yes.
Jensen, put your lifts on.
Crouching or standing, not quite right.
Wow. Did you see the lightning?
I did.
There's lightning out here. Ooh. And wind.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, it was actually really surprising whenever I was playing Darksiders. Darkside, is that the name? With War? It has the really beefy, like, late 80s, early 90s art style, like Spawn-esque.
Yeah. I think it was called Darksiders. It had a lot...
There's another property with a very similar name, which is why I'm hesitating.
Well, it was the one where you play War and there are the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and it has a lot of feelings that seem like Legend of Zelda feelings.
Right, but I didn't recognize that yet until I was in the first dungeon, and it took me, like, it wasn't until I got that game's equivalent of a small key that I realized what was up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this has been Zelda this whole time, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I was really impressed because they got me into the first dungeon, and I was like, it was a dungeon in progress before I realized that that's what it was. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that it was above ground. Like, I'm trying to think of examples. Several of the dungeons in Twilight Princess. That's actually one of the things that I like about that title. Is that there are dungeons that are... Actually, there's a dungeon that is not only can you see the sky, it's like a sky dungeon.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a lot of like suspended platforms that you...
Sounds terrifying. Sounds like a place I wouldn't like to go.
You get to grapple from and jump around on.
Nope. No, thank you.
No, it's good. It's fun. And they give you an item that I don't mind spoiling. So the thing about Twilight Princess is that it had a lot of little twists on established Zelda items.
Yeah.
And the hookshot equivalent, it was the claw shot. So you could stick to targets. And the last main dungeon of the game, if I remember correctly, its dungeon item was an additional claw shot. So you could Spider-Man around.
Oh, cool. I do love to Spider-Man as a verb.